Night duty plunged the hospital corridors into a sleepy silence. But suddenly the shrill siren of an ambulance sounded. Rapidly turning the car around, the medics carefully extracted a young man from it and quickly brought him to the emergency room. It turned out that the patient's car had collided with an SUV at a busy intersection. After an emergency operation that lasted several hours, the man was transferred to the intensive care unit. Gloria Robinson, this is the surgeon who performed the surgery, walked into the resident's room where she carefully began to record in the medical record the progress of the surgery and the patient's recovery. The door to the resident's room opened and Helen Smith, an experienced nurse, appeared on the threshold, holding a steaming cup of invigorating coffee. "Coffee, Mrs. Robinson," she said in a soft, soothing voice, placing the cup carefully on the edge of the table. Gloria looked up tiredly from her notes, nodding gratefully to the nurse. "Thank you, Mrs. Helen, as soon as the patient regains consciousness, call me right away," she said, returning to her notes. Helen looked at her colleague and, noticing her exhausted look, suggested, "Get some rest while things are calm." "You know it's not a good start, Mrs. Robinson objected. Her intuition was right. Gloria had barely had time to take a couple of sips of the hot drink when the ambulance arrived again, bringing a new victim to the ward. Exhausted after hours of surgery, Gloria fell asleep right at her desk with her head buried in her papers. But not for long. She was awakened by Nurse Helen, who told her that the first patient had regained consciousness. Silently entering the room, Gloria carefully looked at the monitor readings, and when she shifted her gaze to the man, she saw a rather attractive man on a hospital bed, entangled with wires and sensors. He was looking at her carefully from under half-lowered eyelashes. "How are you feeling, Mr. Foster? You came in here in serious condition, unconscious, lost a lot of blood. Your spleen ruptured, and I had to remove it. You have 2 broken ribs, but your lung is intact. It's not life-threatening right now. I've already gotten a call from the police. They want to talk to you. I asked them to come back later to give you time to recover." "Thank you, doctor," the man said quietly. "My duty is over. I will see you tomorrow. Get well," Gloria said, and left the room. Gloria entered her apartment tiredly. She was greeted in the hallway by a red cat named Leo. He rubbed his tail against her legs and headed for the kitchen. Gloria could hardly stand on her feet from fatigue, but she knew she had to feed Lion first. Otherwise, he wouldn't let her sleep well. As soon as Gloria settled on the bed, she fell into a deep, restful sleep almost instantly as soon as her head touched the pillow. The next day, the patient looked much better and more alert, even smiled when Gloria Robinson entered the room. "Hello, Mr. Foster. I see you're feeling better than yesterday. I'm glad to see you're on the mend so quickly. You'll be moved back to your room today. Your cell phone will be returned, and you can call your family." "I have no one in this town," the patient admitted, looking at the doctor appreciatively. "I hope I haven't caused you too much trouble." "Your main task now is to recover quickly," Gloria replied. "When will you discharge me?" he asked. "You just had surgery yesterday. You have broken ribs. You'll definitely be in the ward for a week, and then we'll see." "I'm sorry. I have other patients waiting," Gloria said. Before leaving, she checked the monitor readings and IV again. When she looked at him, she noticed his interested look. He smiled. A chill suddenly ran down her spine. Gloria had seen a smile like that before. Her memory for faces was good, but she didn't remember seeing this man before, and his smile seemed familiar. All evening she racked her memory, trying to remember under what circumstances she might have seen that smile, but nothing came to mind. The next morning he met her sitting on the bed. Someone had brought him a new t-shirt. "I asked your nurse to buy me a t-shirt. There's blood all over my clothes," Brad said, catching her surprised look. Somehow I think he glanced at her name tag, Mrs. Robinson. "There's something you want to ask me." "No, I mean yes." "Mr. Foster, have you and I seen each other anywhere?" she asked. "I don't remember you." "I have a good visual memory. I couldn't forget such a beautiful woman. You know, I've only seen a look like yours once, and that was in another city, in another life, many years ago." He smiled again, and then he cringed. The broken ribs were making themselves felt. "You can get up, but do it carefully," Gloria warned. "Will you come back to see me again?" Brad asked suddenly. "Yes, if the watch is quiet," Gloria replied. The next day, Brad struck up the conversation again. "Doctor, do you remember where we might have met before?" "I guess I thought I might have seen you," Gloria replied evasively. "I think I've seen you before." "I remember your eyes," Brad said thoughtfully. "What's wrong with my eyes?" Gloria didn't want to broach the subject, but curiosity got the better of her. "The first day, I thought you were just tired, but the next day you looked rested and refreshed. But your eyes were the same," Brad explained. "You have a wary look, like you're afraid of something, ready to run away at any moment." "Mr. Foster, don't be silly. I'm not going anywhere," Gloria cut him off. "You're recovering quickly, and I'll discharge you in 3 days. You'll be an outpatient." "Thank you very much for that," Brad started to say, but Gloria had already left the room before he could hear him. 3 days later, a nurse brought Brad a discharge summary and x-rays. "And Mrs. Robinson?" he asked the nurse frustratedly, noticing that Gloria hadn't come in herself. "She's in surgery right now," she replied. Instead of leaving, Brad stayed in the hallway, positioned so he could see the door to the resident's room. When Gloria finally showed up, he immediately went up to meet her. "You were in such a hurry to get out of the hospital, and now you're still here," Gloria remarked, trying to hide her tiredness, and smiled. Brad looked at her with an open, penetrating gaze. "Is it just me? Or are you really avoiding me?" he asked without a shadow of embarrassment. "I couldn't leave without thanking you. You saved my life." "That's a big statement, Mr. Foster. But if you hadn't done the surgery in time, I could have died, couldn't I?" Brad insisted, his blue eyes scrutinizing her face. "You see, you saved my life. That's my job. I just want to thank you. Your shift ends soon. I'd like to take you out to dinner. Please don't refuse my request. I know you don't go out much with this job. We'll just have dinner and talk. I promise not to bother you." "Mr. Foster, you're overconfident," she sighed. "All right, I'll have dinner with you. I need some time to clean up." Yes, of course." Brad brightened up. "I'll be waiting for you at a restaurant near your house. I'll make a reservation and meet you there at 7. Gloria looked at him in surprise. "Do you know where I live? Is it a secret?" Brad answered and smiled. After finishing her shift, Gloria quickly returned home. After taking a shower, she carefully styled her hair, applying a little makeup to her eyes and lips. Then she spent a long time going through dresses, fighting the urge to wear the usual black outfit. No, something special was needed today. Finally, she chose a dark green tight dress that emphasized her eyes. At exactly 7 o'clock, Gloria entered the cozy restaurant, looking around for Brad. From a table in the far corner, a tall man in an austere suit came up and waved at her gallantly. Gloria hardly recognized this elegant stranger as her former patient. Clean-shaven and immaculately dressed, Brad looked completely different. "I was afraid you wouldn't come," he admitted, looking at Gloria with unconcealed admiration from head to toe as she approached the table. No sooner had they sat down than the waiter brought them their menu folders. Gloria opened hers, but felt Brad's gaze on her, who didn't even look at his. "I'll tell you a secret. While I was waiting for you, I had already looked at the menu," Brad admitted, smiling slyly. Gloria responded with a warm smile, feeling the tension slowly let go. They ordered, and the waiter quickly placed plates and utensils on the table. "Finally, I can see you laughing," Brad remarked, scrutinizing her face. "That dress really suits you," Brad said. "Do you prefer to wear dark colors to make you look slimmer?" Gloria cast a quick glance at him, but said nothing. "Many years ago, when I was still a freshman, I was walking home one evening. It was drizzling rain, and the wind was freezing cold by the river. Even though it was early June, the weather was gloomy in the fall. I was anxious to get away from the weather as soon as possible. I crossed the bridge almost at a run, trying to get away from the sharp gusts of wind. Suddenly, I noticed a teenage girl standing on the other side of the fence. There was no doubt that she was going to jump down into the water. I stopped and told her that the weather was not at all suitable for such an act. The water must be cold, and since her abuser was not around, there was no point in jumping when no one could see it. After all, at her age, it is impossible not to experience even the worst misfortunes of life. The girl listened to me silently, and it was unclear whether she was crying or just her face was wet from the rain. To my surprise, my words had an effect on her. I helped her climb back over the fence. She struggled, almost slipping into the water a couple times. We went to the nearest cafe, and I bought her a cup of hot coffee. I could use some warmth myself, but I didn't have money for a second cup. Gloria looked up, her emerald eyes scrutinizing Brad's face. Tears streamed down her cheeks, and she turned away, trying to hide them. There in the cafe, I asked what happened to her, and she told me why she didn't want to live, Gloria said quietly, her voice trembling. "You forgot to mention that the girl was fat." Everyone in the class laughed at her. Not even a tornado could lift the house where fat Gloria sits into the air. The classmates laughed. "Gloria, did you eat an elephant for breakfast?" At home, I cried and yelled at my mom why she gave birth to me like this, Gloria continued. Before the vacation started, we went on a field trip as a class. By then, most of the boys and girls had already gotten into pairs. I was all alone. No one wanted to be friends with me. Everyone shunned and avoided me. Suddenly, one of the boys invited me to walk along the riverbank. I was so happy. We had gone quite a distance from the others when suddenly he pushed me. I tried to grab his hand, but he instantly stepped back. My feet slipped and I fell right into the water. I thought he was just kidding and would give me a hand to help me to shore. But instead, the other guys came over and started laughing loudly at me. The place was very deep, and I couldn't swim at all. I was floundering in the water, choking, and everyone kept laughing. Luckily, a man passed by and pulled me out of the water. I was throwing up a lot of dirty river water. I was so ashamed and hurt that I just sobbed, unable to calm down. The worst thing was that in the end, no one was ever punished. Everyone wrote it off as an accident. Gloria shuddered with sobs, her whole body shrinking into a ball. Brad reached out to her, squeezing her palm with warm fingers. After that, you decided you'd rather drown yourself than continue studying with your abusers, Brad said with sympathy in his voice. I'm sorry. I couldn't imagine what you were going through. Kids at that age can be especially cruel, especially to those who are different. Gloria nodded, her green eyes glistening with tears. After you took me off the bridge, I made a promise to myself that I would become a doctor, that I would lose weight, no matter what it took, she said quietly. I went to another city and enrolled in medical school. I ate almost nothing, even fainted from hunger in class. But I lost weight. True, one of my professors later told me that after childbirth, the pounds would come back anyway. That's how my body is. Gloria was silent for a moment, gathering her thoughts. I forbade myself to think about love and men. I was afraid that if I got well again, I'd be abandoned, like my father abandoned my mother after giving birth, she continued. But I remembered how you said in the cafe that if everyone solved their problems on the bridge, there wouldn't be a single person left on the planet. And you smiled then. I didn't remember your face, but I remembered your smile. And I remembered your look, hunted and determined at the same time, he said. I've never told anyone, ever, she admitted and covered her face with her hands. You know, I've often thought of you, Brad said. I wondered what had happened to that girl, how her life had turned out. And when I saw the look in your eyes when I woke up from the surgery, I remembered that poor, hurt girl on the bridge again. But I didn't recognize you. You changed so much. It turns out that I saved you then, and you saved me now. Gloria lifted her head and smiled. I'm sorry, I have to go. I have to schedule surgeries tomorrow, she said. I'm tired. The memories have taken my strength. Sure, I'll walk you out, Brad offered. When Gloria arrived at work the next day, a gorgeous bouquet of flowers stood on her desk in the residence room. Tucked among the buds was a quadruple folded sheet of paper that read, We met twice. It can't be an accident. No one will ever mock and make fun of you again. I have to go away for a while, but I will definitely come back. Gloria smiled. She was used to taking care of everything on her own, watching her diet and emotional state carefully. Would there really be someone to take care of her now? And how will all this develop? Is it worth it? Is it even possible? A week later, as promised, Brad came to her.